Here's the last page of the Algebra 2 Chapter 6 review. Remember, this is a calculator part. These logs you can't type on the calculator, however, because you don't know what their bases are, so you're going to have to use properties. So as you know, when you're given an equation like this, you're going to have to try to change these logs into sums or differences of log base b of 4 and log base b of 11. So the first one is log base b of 44. Notice that 44 is 4 times 11, so that's going to work. Think of this as log base b of 4 times 11. Don't do anything yet, though, because you still have to expand these if you're going to be able to use these. So the log of a product is the sum of the logs. So we're just expanding log base b of 4 plus log base b of 11. Now you can use these because we know that the log base b of 4 is 0.3, and we know that the log base b of 11 is 0.9. So you just have to add these together, 1.2. So that's it. 18 is even easier because you see the log base b of 11 and 4. You can't do anything here, though. You have to expand this first, so you can separate these into two separate logs. So since it's a division problem, it's log base b of 11 minus log base b of 4. And just like the problem before it, you just can now plug in the logs. Log base b of 11 is 0.9. Log base b of 4 is 0.3. Subtract them, you get 0.6. Pretty easy. Log base b of 64. So now you have to figure out how to get 64 from 4 and 11. 4 times 4 is 16. And then 16 times 4 is 64. So you really only need 4 here. And there's two ways to do this. You can do log base b of 64 is 4 to the third. And then use the property of logs that let you bring down the exponent. So we know log base b of 4 is 0.3. So we can just make this 3 times 0.3, which is 0.9. And you're done. You don't have to that's it. We've done it. But the other way, a lot of people prefer this way, is just realize that 64 is 4 times 4 times 4. That's obviously the case because it's 4 to the third. But then, since this is a multiplication, you can change, just like in question number 17, you can change these all to addition. And now, just like again 17, you add them all together. Log base b of 4 is 0.3. So 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.3. There's 3 of them, so it's going to be 3 times 0.3, just like the one before it, or this method. So obviously, they're going to work out to be the same thing because you're doing the same problem. Write the inverse of the function. So this problem becomes a lot easier than it was in the past because you're used to solving. And when you solve equations, all you're doing is using inverses. So it really should be a lot easier now that we solved. So just start out always with f inverse equals x. And then start taking away everything, undoing everything. So the first thing you do is to get rid of all these numbers, is to get rid of the 16 by adding it. So that's gone. So if you're keeping score here, that's gone. Now we have to get rid of the 11. But it's an exponent, so you can't divide it. You have to log base 11 to get rid of that. So log base 11. But remember, when you're dealing with inverses, you have to, whatever you do, you have to do it to the whole side. So make sure you use these parentheses. So first we added 16. We log base 11 to get rid of 11 of the whole thing. And then we're left with x plus 7. So the last thing we have to do is subtract that 7 from the whole side. So let's just do it right here. Minus 7. And we're done because we're left with x, which is the whole idea. And finally, 21 is a really, really simple question. We're going to use the change of base formula. You just have to remember what the change of base formula is. So the change of base formula is this log base 5 of x is equivalent to log of this number over log of this number. That's it. So I can just say log x over log 5 and be done with it. It doesn't have to be log base 10 like these are. It could be ln if you want, as long as they're both the same. Oops, I just screwed that up. Or lnx over ln5. Or even log base 32 of x over log base 32 of 5. It doesn't matter, as long as the bases are the same. So that's it. I'm just going to circle one of them. So I'm planning to make a video on going through some of this stuff with the calculator. I'm going to go back through problems like this maybe and show you how you can do this on the calculator. I just don't want that page to be too long. So that's probably going to be coming up as well.